Welcome back to the weekly news roundup. This is the privacy and the security editions. These are recorded live Fridays, 9 p.m. Eastern Standard Time. If you'd like to catch the show live, let's go ahead and dive right on in. First, we have super cookies. Oh, no. They're not super cookies. So this is a company that Trustpid is the company here, and they wanted to have a better way of tracking and analyzing people across different sites. And of course, super cookies were a thing that were really bad publicity, so they didn't want to be a super cookie, and they're definitely not a super cookie. They're just digital tokens that track you around the internet and push ads based on your watch profiles and things that you would like. And so, that's exactly what they are. They're super cookies. Now, the difference and the reason they're saying, well, it's not a super cookie, it's a secure and privacy-friendly way to push ads on you that is based on what you want, because each individual vendor generates its own cookie about you. So now there's more data to be collected and harvested. He said, I'm not opposed to ads on the internet. Ads are what makes the world go round, unfortunately, these days. I just don't want them pushing ads that they think I want to see. Okay, if I'm looking up like headphones, show me ads related to headphones. If I'm on a website about cars, show me ads about cars. A logical sense, if I'm on the website, I'm probably somewhat interested in that. But with that, the cookies here, they're being pushed out, I believe, on a device level and from Vodafone, and they're allowing individual companies to target you. They're saying they're GDPR compliant, they're privacy first design, yet they're not optional. People don't necessarily know they're using them, and you can't really get rid of them. So it raises a few questions about what really happens to be going on. So anyway, beware of that if you are using Vodafone. And on to The Guardian. Some women are deleting their period tracking apps. Why is this? Oh, well, the Roe versus Wade was overturned, whatever you think about it. And now all sorts of people are like, they're going to use our data to kill people. I'm sorry, your side's aside using information to kill people. But the reality is, hey, these things have been tracking people, and whatever it takes to get you to think that we actually have whatever it takes to get people to start thinking about privacy and stop using all these apps, that in and of itself is a fascinating thing. And so, there we have it. But anyway, this just goes into, there's a few different apps that are people using to track their cycle, and now they're all concerned. I will point out, though, that the documentary 2000 Mules used the same type of data. They did this documentary where they are alleging that different ballot stuffers or mules are going around and stuffing little ballots around all these different places. Well, guess what? It was cell phone data utilizing the same types of apps that everybody is using if you happen to be using apps on your phone. They use they're using the data. That's an application. People are starting to see that going, oh, I don't know. I don't want to be part of that. And so, hey, if that's what it takes to get people to take their privacy seriously. Now, some people were pushing out another app, and there's like Flow and Clue. I think one of them had an actual privacy breach. The other one alleges to be private, and one of them, I think it's Clue, is coming out soon with a privacy mode, basically like an incognito mode for your period app. Okay, but hey, as long as people are starting to think about privacy and starting to investigate privacy and thinking about it and taking any form of steps to be more private, I think that that's a win. So we'll go ahead and take that win wherever we can get it. And also from The Guardian, TikTok is turning a generation of video addicts into a data gold mine. It was kind of sad in the article here. One of the people talks about I think it was an 11-year-old kid. Yeah, here you go. After lunch at a friend's house, his host motioned him to observe his 11-year-old son, who walked to the couch to lay on his side with his arm extended in front of him, cradling his phone. He went vacant. For the next hour, he was comatose. No signs of life other than his open eyes and an occasional finger swipe. Quote, we have to make him stop. Pull him out every time, his dad says. Dad, you're a bad parent. Get the kid help and take his phone away. Okay, you're causing an addict. And I will remind you, way before anybody else was talking about TikTok, way before Orange Man Bad talked about TikTok, way before TikTok was a name brand thing, it was this channel. We talked about TikTok and its parent company, ByteDance, and how ByteDance is a Chinese AI data analytics and aggregation firm. The entire purpose of TikTok is and has always been to collect data from the people using it so that they can collect it, they can analyze it, they can train AI, they can do all sorts of things. And that's TikTok. And so this is going into how they're feeding all the information. Of course, we talked last week about the article where TikTok's trying to say, well, we're storing all U.S. information on Oracle servers now, and we're limiting the number of people that can access it. Yeah, allegedly. But yeah, if your 11-year-old is comatose on the couch until you got to wake him up, yeah, he doesn't need a phone and he needs therapy. He's addicted to the thing. And there is a second Chinese group, and that is Alibaba, the Chinese version of Amazon, basically. A lot of people are using it, and they've been sitting there building their numbers and selling data. Well, they're like, now that we have this treasure trove of data that we've collected, being a Chinese firm and all, we're going to figure out how we can monetize that data. What's their methodology? Well, it's to collect all the data about the fellow users that have been using Alibaba and now start to spin this off into sales and renting and ads and things like this. Basically the Facebook model, the Microsoft model, utilizing and monetizing your data based on it. Of course, what makes these TikTok and Alibaba so horrendous is that what happens now is that the people, these are all in the Chinese government. These are in the Chinese Communist Party. And in order to do business in the Chinese Communist Party, you have to have a backdoor for China into it. There is no way around that. You can't do it. So I don't put a lot of faith in TikTok saying, oh, the U.S. users are using Oracle. Not if they're not a spinoff company, they're not. And Alibaba, oh yeah, they can grab all this data that they want. So be careful for the services, even if they're not pushing their information now, then whatever else. Well, you can help support the channel over on the store, shop.switchedtolinux.com. This is a new hat from it, and I'm actually wearing a t-shirt, not because I want to showcase the t-shirt. It's just too hot for me to wear my polo right now. It's really hot in here. The wonderful glow is not the wonderful, beautiful glow. It's just hot in here. But anyway, you can head on over here, and we have a variety of different designs. We have a daytime and a nighttime alien. We have hats. We have coffee cups. We have mouse pads. So I just got, there's a new style of coffee cup. Okay, this is the new style of coffee cup. I just got this one here in. This thing keeps coffee hot for hours. It's way better than the older model. I had this model. I like it. It fits better into into some cup holders. It doesn't keep coffee quite as hot. But this one down here, oh, that is amazing. Amazing. So anyway, you can have a look over there, shop.switchedtolinux.com. Now let's head on over to security news. So first up in security, we have Hermit. Hermit, very similar to spyware, except it's explicitly loaded on your device by your ISP at the command of the government. Yes, we just said that. Google's threat analysis group has revealed a sophisticated spyware activity involving ISPs aiding in the download of powerful commercial spyware onto users' mobile devices. The spyware, dubbed Hermit, is reported to have government clients much like Pegasus. Italian vendor RCS Labs developed Hermit. The spyware was spotted in Kazakhstan to suppress protests against the government policies, in Italy to investigate those involved in anti-corruption cases, in Syria to monitor the northeastern Kurdish region, all deployed by their governments. It affects Android and iOS devices and is described as a modular spyware, so they can basically choose which elements they're going to get access to. At its core root, it has access to SMS, chat messages, viewing passwords, intercept calls, record calls, ambient audio, redirect calls, and pinpoint precise locations of victims. Also roots infected droids, giving deeper access to the phone features and user data. On iOS, it is packed with 6 exploits, 2 of which are targeting zero-day vulnerabilities, and it lists our various exploits. So just think about that next time you're like, this is the best phone ever. Yeah, not really. YTStealer, YTStealer is info stealing malware. So there's 2 articles here on for YouTuber stuff. One of these is more warning for the YouTubers. This is a phishing scheme to attempt to get malware onto your system that's going to read your YouTube cookies and pass those authentication cookies over. This shouldn't be a huge deal because YouTube is very aggressive with 2FA, at least in some areas. All of us in America at least have to have 2FA on our YouTube account. So I'm not sure if this is getting around 2FA, but it is certainly something that they're being used. Mostly it's being distributed by people pirating software like Adobe Premiere Pro, Filmora, basically tools you might use in order to stream YouTube or play some games, I guess, streaming YouTube. So mostly it's being distributed by those, but it's seeking to get your login credentials from YouTube, so be careful of that. The other one is an issue where a lot of YouTubers are reporting that people are spoofing their accounts. There were a few higher profile ones. Marquise Brownlee? He said people were basically creating an accounts with his name, using his likeness, because you can get onto YouTube and create the name that's exactly the same as somebody else's name. It is possible to do. And then you can spoof them out, and then they were basically using this information to say, hey, we're doing, we're doing Supromo, the next 100 people, whatever, go to this page and, basically drive by phishing, malware, or something else. The way to identify these is to look at the channel and look at the subscriber count, which it's possible to hide, except in a recent update that us creators received this week. We will no longer be able to hide the subscriber count after a period. I think it's the end of this month and the next month. Sometime soon, you will not be able to hide your subscriber count. And then they're allegedly taking stepping up issues against bots as well. But just be aware of that. If your favorite YouTubers pops up in some comment section somewhere being like, hey, go to this page and the first 100 people going here will get a free gift from me. Yeah, it's probably not the case unless the creator specifically says so. And finally, we have zombie Chrome extensions. This is affecting Chrome and Chrome-based browsers, where this is going to impact your Windows machines primarily. So somebody's getting in here and you're either executing some file or you're getting this drive-by somewhere. It could be loaded from a website, and it's adding a registry file to your Windows registry. It puzzled them for a while what was going on until they found the PowerShell arguments. And basically, by setting up this code in your registry, it was basically producing an administered mode, so you could not add or remove extensions yourself and things like this just by toggling these. And then the other thing that they did is they set certain plugins and extensions that if you saw it on there and you're like, well, I didn't want that, you couldn't uninstall it because it basically put an administrated mode in your system. So they have a variety of different ways you could get it, drive-by websites, JavaScripts, and things like that. To remove it, you need to remove HKey local machine software policies, Google Chrome extensions, install force list, and Microsoft Edge extensions install force list. My guess is this is going to impact any Chromium-based browser is my guess, although right now they're explicitly looking at Google Chrome and Edge. If you're experiencing this type of issue on any other Chromium-based browser, look for the similar registry entry in your Windows registry and see if you can find it. So just be aware of that these are basically extensions. You didn't install them, you try and uninstall them, and they just keep coming back. Well, if you want to help support the channel, we do have a Patreon page, patreon.com/TOMM. You can jump on over there and help support the channel. With that, thanks for watching, and I hope that you enjoy switching to Linux. Thank you for watching this video from Switched to Linux. This channel would not be possible without the backing of the program supporters scrolling on the screen now. You can be a supporter at Patreon at patreon.com/TOMM or at thinklifemedia.com. I also want to thank the open source community who creates such excellent software that makes producing this show possible. Please remember to support your software communities. Thank you, and I hope that you enjoy switching to Linux.